All right, week one is in the books. Feels good to finally be at real games and not just the preseason. We did it in the dark last time. I feel like we can do it again. Seems kind of more aesthetically pleasing, doesn't burn your eyes or anything. So let's talk first about the games for week one. The best game was Ravens and Chiefs, obviously. It was just exciting to have football back. Number two, I would give the Packers-Eagles a second game. It was just a shootout in Brazil. Rams and Lions, I'd say was my third. I'd say was the third best game, went into overtime. That one I did get wrong. I predicted the Rams to get some playoff revenge, but if it wasn't for the overtime rules, they literally lost by a coin flip. But definitely a good game. And fourth best game I'm going to give to Steelers and Falcons. Unless you're a Falcons fan, it was a pretty fun game to watch. As long as you like defensive football, if you like offense, this might be the most boring game for you. But if you like good defense, both teams definitely. The Steelers won without even a touchdown, but it was still entertaining to watch if you like defense. After that, still good games though. We got Texans and Colts. I got that one wrong as well. I underestimated that the Colts always lose their home openers, and Texans are on like a big win streak on division rival away games, but it was very close. After that, we got Broncos and Seahawks was a close one. I'm a little worried about my Seahawks offensive line, but at least we got the W. The Raiders and Chargers, and the Jets and Niners. Jets and Niners was a little disappointing, but it was still, I'd say, a decent game to watch. Just personally, those two teams don't really do it for me. They're too much of a run game, heavy defense style, but at least it was relatively entertaining to watch to end the week on. The worst games, though, to avoid, we got the Cardinals and Bills. It was decent, but it was a bit lopsided. It started all on the Cardinals and then flipped where it was all the Bills. Same goes for Titans and Bears. It was a little less entertaining, though, than the Cardinals and Bills, just given that Caleb did not look good at all. If you just saw the score, you'd assume Caleb Williams balled out, but that is not the case. Then we got the Jaguars and the Dolphins. Again, just a lopsided matchup. Started one way and then quickly flipped the other way. And then the Patriots and Bengals. The kind of went the same way, where the Patriots started hot and then the Bengals started to pick up steam, but alas, unlike the other games, the Bengals couldn't get it done. And that is the fourth game I got wrong for the week, with the Jets and Niners being the other one. But I'd say 12 out of 16 still not too bad. What else we got? The worst games to avoid: the Cowboys and Browns. If you didn't see the score, you didn't watch it, I would avoid doing so. It was very one-sided, as was the Panthers and Saints, the Commanders and Buccaneers. I mean, you feel good for the Saints and Bucs, but they weren't fun to watch. And the worst game I'm going to give to Giants-Vikings, although it was nice seeing Sam Darnold actually play well again, like ever. But yeah, it was disappointing if you're a Giants fan. So let's just move on to the rankings. At number 32, I'm going to put the Giants. And 31 the Panthers, but I decided to put the Giants beneath them. Just, I guess we had higher expectations. Not high, but higher than we did with the Panthers. We wanted at least, we wanted to see something from Danny Dimes with a new line and some receivers, but it was worse than ever without Saquon. At 29, no, that's 32 and 31. So at 30, we got the who do I got? I can't read my handwriting. Oh, the Falcons. Yeah, very disappointing performance. I didn't have high expectations for the Falcons this year, but I think if you're a Falcons fan, you're pretty hurt at this point. But on the bright side, you can't get a whole lot worse. I feel like you can still at least beat the Panthers in your division, so you got that going for you. 29, I got the Bengals. That one's disappointing. I had the Bengals as like my top Super Bowl pick, and they just got destroyed by the Patriots of all teams. I underestimated how the Bengals always lose week 1. I thought they could do it this year. At 28, I got the Commanders, which I found them a little disappointing. I expected more from them, not a lot, but more than what they did. But I think a lot of it too was just that Baker Mayfield and the Bucks just balled out. I was impressed with Jaden Daniels, though. At least he did good with the game. It was just the rest of the team kind of struggled. So then what we got? 27. Who I got? 27. I can't read my handwriting. Oh, the Browns. 27, the Browns. Not the worst team of week 1, but disappointing considering expectations. 26, the Cardinals. I put them a little higher just because of that impressive first half, but I couldn't put them too high because of that collapse in the second half. 25, I got the Ravens. Even though they lost by a toe, the game looked rough. It did not look clean. I would have just preferred more running too. I don't know why they didn't do more with Henry aside from the beginning. 24, I got the Rams, kind of low on them. They were also one of my Super Bowl picks. I thought they could win the NFC, that it would be maybe the Bengals and Rams rematch. But at least they only lost due to a coin flip in overtime. I'm curious how it would have gone if this was like a postseason game. But for now, yeah, they'll have to do better if they want to go up in the rankings. 23, I got the Raiders, which I'm a little disappointed with. I kind of thought Minshew would be better. And the Chargers weren't like amazing in that game. I feel like the Raiders hung around, but it was more disappointing than I expected, at least. 22, the Jets, another disappointing team. I wasn't super high on the Jets, but I thought they could beat the Niners at the very least. 21, I got the Steelers, and 20, the Patriots. Two teams that got the win. It was mostly their defense. They didn't score a lot of points, and I feel like they won. It was more like the Bengals and the Falcons lost than the Steelers and the Patriots won. But at least I'll put them up this high. Just kudos to them for at least getting a win week 1. 19. I got the Eagles, which I wasn't too high on them this season, so that's fairly higher than I expected. But I don't want to put them too high because I felt like they'd made a lot of mistakes in that game. But maybe that was just the terrain. Maybe with a better turf, they'll play better. 18, I got the Titans. About where I expected them to be. They made a few offensive mistakes, but their defense was pretty good. 17, the Chiefs. I'm just leaving them out of the top half just to spite them. 16, the Chargers. Very adequate, average, right in the middle team. And just to spite both Chiefs and Chargers, I got the Broncos at 15 just to lead that division. Despite the loss, I feel like their defense really put the pressure on Seahawks' offensive line. And Bo Nix, although he threw some picks, he made some impressive throws too. So I feel like that's what you're going to get with a rookie QB, is just a mixed bag of good plays and bad plays. It's hard to get consistency from a first-year player. But for now, 15. At 14, I got the Colts, which I was a little disappointed with. I was expecting them to be a top 10 team. But just, they at least stuck in that fight against the Texans, so we'll see where they go from here. 13, I got the Cowboys, higher than I think a lot of people expected. I thought they'd be more middle of the pack. But yeah, they didn't even make it close against the Browns, so I'm curious to see how much better they do in the coming weeks. 12, I got the Jaguars, and 11, the Dolphins, just because the Dolphins, it was a very evenly matched game. The Dolphins were terrible in the beginning, and the Jaguars dominated, and then it flipped, and the Dolphins got the win. So I got the Dolphins higher. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with both teams, though, and I'm hoping that they can make it in the top 10 in week 2. But in the top 10, I have the Bills. That comeback against the Cardinals puts them in the top 10, but I can't put them too high because I am worried about that first half. Number 9, I got the Niners. 8, I got the Texans. 7, the Seahawks. That offensive line is concerning, though. And then the top 6, I got the NFC North. I got the Packers at 6. Despite the loss, I feel like they played well, and I just kind of feel bad that they're not going to have Love. So we're gonna put them up here with the rest of the NFC North, and we'll drop them down slowly as they lose games without Love. But maybe he'll come back in time to save it. 5, I got the Lions. Only won by a coin flip, so I can't put them too high. Number 4, I got the Bears, which I know their offense was abysmal, but the defense just it looked good. It did it for me. It was enough to put them this high. I'm sure they're one team I don't have confidence in being this high, but I want to at least give them credit for where they are right now. And number 3, I got the Vikings, the same bag, I think, as they play teams better than the Giants. They will go down in the rankings, but at least for now, Sam Darnold had a fantastic day, got him in the thumbnail, and we'll see how far they go down after this. But the top 2, I got the Bucks at number 2 and the Saints at number 1. I guess just because I think the Panthers played a little better than the Commanders. The Commanders, it was basically just Jaden Daniels, but you could flip those if you'd like. Either way, the Saints and Bucks are the top 2 teams, and I can't wait to see them play each other later this season. The Saints play the Cowboys, so we'll see how that game goes. I wouldn't be too shocked if the Saints are able. I think it's either going to be a blowout or it's going to be close. But speaking of which, let's talk about the 16 games coming up. First is Dolphins and Bills on Thursday. I'm going to go with the Dolphins, but I think it'll be a bit of a shootout between them. I just want to see the Dolphins get revenge for Week 18 last season, even though I think overall this season I do have the Bills winning the division again. But I think it would be a nice win for the Dolphins to get this one. Then we got Raiders and Ravens. I think that'll be close as well, but I think the difference maker will be the defense. Whichever team's defense is better will win. I go with the Ravens on this one, but I wouldn't actually be too surprised if the Raiders end up taking it. Chargers at Panthers. That one I think will be the Chargers, obviously, but I think it'll be closer than people expect. I don't think it'll just be a blowout. I think the Panthers will stay in it and lose by like maybe a touchdown. Colts and Packers. I'm going to stick with the Packers, despite the fact that Love's injured. I originally predicted this game back in June to be the Packers. So I'm just going to stick with it and say something crazy happens. The Colts defense just fails to step up. Who's the running back for the Packers? Jacobs. I think maybe he'll have a better day than he did in Brazil. So then we got Buccaneers at Lions. I have another shootout game, but I'm going to say the Buccaneers win this one. They looked good. I know the Lions are a lot better than the... who'd they play again? Oh, the Commanders. Yeah, I think the Lions are a lot better than the Commanders, but I think it'll still be the Buccaneers getting some revenge for the playoffs last season. But it will be a shootout. Saints and Cowboys I actually think will be a shootout as well. It would be cool to see the Saints and Bucks continue to win until they play each other, but I think the Cowboys are better than the Saints. I think the Saints just looked that good because they played the Panthers. The Browns and the Bears. The Bears and the Jaguars. Browns? Oh, that is the Browns. Yeah, so the Browns and the Jaguars. I can't read my handwriting again. 2 teams looking for a win. I'm going to go with the Jaguars on this one. I think they looked better in that first half against Miami. The Browns, I think, just got to do more than what they played against the Cowboys. I think they need to just focus on fundamentals at this point because something's not right. Niners at Vikings. I'm actually going to